And there was one other thing I did want to tell you about. You know how you're always talking about when things are bad? It's not really, most things are not bad.
Unpleasant.
They're just unpleasant.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, I had a bad experience today, and I'll put it in bad. I had to use the brake on my car. It was terrible. It was terrible. I left here. So the backstory on
Keith
this.
is making fun of me.
Yeah, so what did you get, Chuck?
I got a new Tesla.
Yeah, so Chuck got a new Tesla, and I drove it today. He let me drive his car, which was really amazing in itself. But it's really cool if you've never been in a Tesla. The braking works different, or it can be set up to work different.
Right.
So that when you release the
Accelerator.
you can't call it a gas pedal, but you release the accelerator and it brakes for you. And it brakes pretty hard.
It does,
too.
yeah.
But it uses that as a charging system as well. Then I get in my Honda and I have to use both pedals. It was bad.
It was such a bad
It
day.
was a bad day.
Hey, good evening, everybody. I am Chuck Rogers, licensed professional counselor and licensed marriage and family therapist.
And I'm Keith Dunn, and I drive a car that you have to press the brakes on.
And together we're Tabletop Coffee.
Yeah, where we are bold and never, ever bitter.
And tonight we're talking about what do you do if you and your spouse or you and your partner disagree about politics. Stay tuned. We'll talk about it. Yeah, so a while back we did a video. I don't even remember which video where this came from.
Right, I don't either. It was a few videos ago. Just watch them all and find
All
it.
207.
Yeah, all 207.
I've got a client who I think she said she only has 8 more to go, and she's been binge watching Tabletop Coffee.
Yeah, so we highly encourage you to do the same and subscribe and ding that bell so you're notified of any upcoming videos.
So this particular viewer wrote in commenting about our video, and then part of the comment was this, suggesting that we make another video. Can you go ahead and read that?
Yeah, it's a great comment.
Yeah, it is.
I watched through a few videos now and found them very enlightening. An additional video that could be neat is working through political differences with your spouse. My own spouse and I struggle sometimes because, while at the end of the day, we actually agree on most things, there are hot button issues in which we strongly differ. And when those topics come up, it is hard to not have contempt for one another. We have found some solace in the understanding that each other's hearts are in the right place, but our worldviews not only lead us to different solutions, but morally object to each other's solutions.
Oh, man.
Man, it's so well written.
It is. It was wonderful.
And so much to dig into there. Mm-hmm. And Chuck and I we really feel the same way about how to handle this.
Yeah, the truth is that, and the answer to this is you do not talk about it.
No, stay away from it.
Yeah. Simple, not easy, oftentimes is what we've
Right.
talked about.
Yeah.
What we talk about is very simple, not easy to pull off, and this is one of them.
Yeah. It
You
really
just simply stay away from the issue. Now, we're not going to conclude the video at this point, but I believe so strongly about this that I think we could end this video right here and save people tons and tons of heartache.
Yeah, you sure could. But what about those people who are going to step into it anyway?
Then they're bound for heartache.
Yeah.
And I know it's a touchy subject, and people feel bad about this kind of pointed advice about this, but there really is no other alternative to this, because couples have had a conversation. You know what you're going to say. You know what the other person's going to say. You know how you're going to feel. You know how the other person feels about it. You
That's
even
true.
know how it will end, because it's ended that way so many times.
Right.
Yet people choose to go ahead and have the conversation anyway.
On topics like this, that there's no way you're going to convince the other person.
Never.
No, it's not to say the other person may it may not somewhere down the road make a decision to say, oh, I understand this part, or I can agree with this part. But
Yeah.
I mean, it's a tough one.
It really is. And in the very first series that we ever did, The Dance,
Oh yeah, the dance.
it's such a great series.
It really is
I mean, I
fantastic.
think we do a lot of things better and differently now.
Right.
But the content of those first 5 videos was exceedingly strong
It
and
really is.
helpful for couples. So if you've not watched the dance series and you struggle with conflict issues, please go back and watch it. Keith will
Yep.
put it right there.
I sure will. I'll put it right there.
And it talks about the master couples. Masters are people who are happy and enjoy relationship, and they were sticking with these couples years after they had done their special experiments with them. And I won't go into all that, and 'cause I hate duplicating material, but I think this part's worth
It is
duplicating.
worth talking about.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so they did their experiment with them, and 4 years later they followed up with them, and they said to these master couples, hey, 4 years ago you guys had this particular issue that you disagreed upon. Yes, we did. 4 years later you still have that same point of disagreement. Yes, we do. What are you going to do about it? And the reply was nothing.
Right.
And then they would ask them, why aren't you going to do that? Well, because every time we, in my language, every time we touch that, we break out into emotional and relational distance because we're allergic to the topic.
Yeah.
That's the way
true.
I explain it.
Yeah, that's
And if
a great
you're
way.
allergic to a topic and you touch it, you choose to break out. You choose to break out into emotional and relational distance. If you're allergic to poison ivy, you're not going to go rub poison ivy. You know you're going to walk away being miserable for days.
That's right.
It's the same topic, and couples are oftentimes allergic to a political issue. Do not touch it, no matter how enticing, or we can do it better. But I have a question. Why do you think that people would go into it anyway?
Because they think that they can convince the other person
Yes, ding,
at
ding,
some
ding, 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 ding.
point that,
Yes.
that they're right.
Yes, if we just talk about it long enough, you'll see how wrong you are
That's
and
right.
how right I am. If I can just punch enough holes in your darkness with my flashlight of truth, the light will come on for you.
That's
If
right.
I can just put enough manila envelopes of data in front of you and pile it wider and higher and thicker, and you
Right.
see all the evidence that I have, then you'll see how wrong you are and how right I am.
That's right.
And it doesn't work.
No.
It just leads to emotional and relational distance.
Yeah, it backfires every time. It will work against you every single time.
All right. I think that's about as simple
I
and
think so,
as
too.
pointed as it gets.
Yeah, try it. Just don't talk about it. But if you do, there are some tips, and we'll put the video up here.
I really think that's wonderful advice.
I do too. I think it's great.
Hey, we hope you liked our content. If you did, would you please subscribe, because we both would really appreciate that.
Yeah, and ding that bell so you're notified of upcoming videos.
And make sure to like it
Yeah, share it with your friends.
and give us some comments.
Yes, please. Comments.
Thanks, everybody.
Until next time.